Hello, this is Dr. Melody Jackson, and today I wanted to talk to you about leadership in life and how to get motivated when you don't feel motivated. Now, by leadership in life, what I mean is any area of your life that you want to be a leader in. That could be in your business. You might want to start a business and establish yourself as an expert in some area. Or you might want to be a stronger parent or more effective with teaching, or even in the impact you make in some area of your community. Might be in politics. It could be in any area that you're thinking of. But the thing that I want to talk about is so many times we feel like we want to make some kind of difference. We want to change something, or we wish something was different, but we really feel like we don't have any power to do that. And that's what I want to talk about today. I myself have been a student of personal development for decades. And even so, one of the things that I was thinking about today as I was getting myself motivated again and sort of inspired to do something, and I wasn't feeling it. And I thought, why is that? As much as I have studied over the years and really worked on myself and taken courses and applied myself, why is it that I'm having this trouble sort of landing on a mission that inspires me and motivates me? And what I realized is that in that moment, and really, for a while now, I have felt that it just makes no difference. You can talk till you're blue in your face or try to help someone, but if they don't help themselves, there's nothing you can do, and so it's kind of pointless. So I know that sounds kind of cynical or hopeless, and it is if you keep looking at it that way, but that's the thing I thought about. I thought there's got to be some way beyond this. I'm not going to say out of it, because I think as a leader that is just naturally one of the things that we feel, is that sometimes we feel we're not making any difference that we'd like to make, or we just feel like no matter what we do, that people will blame us for a problem, and that certain changes don't stick with our customers or clients or friends or people, and we just start kind of feeling like it's just hopeless and not even worthwhile. And so then it's easy to fall into that trap of being stuck, being procrastinating, and really not doing anything. But in having a commitment to get past that and move on and still get to that point where it's like there's got to be some way around this. I was really looking at it and I thought, well, what is it? And finally I realized, that the truth is you may not make the difference that you want to make with someone. Or I work with actors, and a lot of times actors will tell me, no matter what I do, I can't seem to make the progress that I want to make. So I understand that. And, so that's the feeling that we're dealing with in whatever capacity it is. So as I thought about it, it's, it really comes down to one thing. And that is that you've got to be willing to accept that you may not make the difference that you want to make. And you may not be successful at whatever it is that you're trying to be successful at. Now, I know that can sound kind of negative, like, oh, don't say that. You're supposed to only envision success. Well, I will tell you, if you can just get it clear in your mind that all you can see is success, that is great. Okay, that is absolutely great if you're not kidding yourself, because there are things that I've done that for myself with. When I was earning my PhD, I just knew that I was going to get my PhD. I didn't know what it was going to take, but I knew that I was going to get it, and I could see myself at the finish line at the receiving end. Or when I ran 2 different marathons, I was so focused. Now, mind you, I was pretty slow, but I was so focused on that end goal, I knew that I was going to complete it. That whatever it took, I would do, and I would be focused, and I would run that marathon. Okay, so in that kind of case, it's that I knew that I was going to finish those things, but I didn't have the resistance in the way, which was the doubt. So what I'm really talking about is if we have the doubt about something, or somehow resignation is there, then what do? To get past it, you have to accept that it's very true. You may not make that difference. You may not win. You may not have it work out the way you want it to go. So instead of just focusing on that, you've got to find a different motivation. And that other motivation can be that you just want to get in there and play the game. Okay, so if I don't focus on, let's say that I have 3 ventures that I am starting. And if I let the doubt and concern about what's going to happen, if I let that get in the way, then I will be procrastinating for quite some time, and I can tell you I've done that. Okay, so instead, how about this? How about if I say, I'm just going to get in the game and start going for it. I'm going to try to make that difference. I'm going to try to make money from it as a business venture. I'm going to get out there and I am mostly going to have fun. I'm going to do everything I can to be successful. But even if I'm not, I'm going to have fun. And that's not exactly how I want to say it. It's not like fun is the consolation prize. It's more like I am doing it for the purpose of enjoying it and having fun and expressing myself and attempting to make that difference. But I am not worried about the end goal. So I know what I want the outcome to be, but I'm really more focused on the process of going through the motions of doing whatever it is that I think I need to do to get there. So in the past, a lot of times people say enjoy the process. It might be like that, but the problem with that is that phrase kind of has some baggage with it. It's like, I don't want to enjoy the process. I want the end result. Okay, well, that's fine, and I totally agree with you. I want that end result, whatever it is that I'm setting out to do. So I'm not saying don't want that, but I am telling you that to get past whatever this thing is, this resistance that you have toward going for your goal, then one way to do that, the biggest way to do that, is really to look at it as the journey that you are on that is part of your plan. So let's say you're at another job and you want to start your own business. You could stay there and keep thinking about it, or you can start taking actions and put yourself out there and do whatever it is to get you moving forward. And even if you never quit your regular job to go for this other kind of dream, you're going to be pursuing it. And really, many of the times when you start pursuing something that you want, most of the time you're actually going to find that you really feel good just knowing that you have begun it, that you are doing it. I know for myself, when I work on some of my Kindle books that I'm in the process of publishing and have published, I actually have one published. So I don't want to make it sound like I have them all up there. Part of what I'm up to is putting my Kindle books out there that I've been sort of holding on to. So again, I know that when I was working on those ebooks, because I have a lot of these things finished or close to finished, and I have not actually taken that final step of publishing them. They're in the nonfiction area and around the business of an acting career or screenwriting career. But I know even when I have begun sitting down and just working on them, it's so satisfying just to know I'm in that process. And here's the distinction about the process and the end goal. If I say only the process matters, then there's an implication that I'm really doing it for the purpose of the process instead of the end goal, and that is not very motivating. But if I say I'm doing the process to know that I'm working toward my end goal, then I can feel good about the process because I'm working toward my end goal. But even if I am not there yet, I envision it and I start to feel what it's like if I get there, and that makes me feel good now in the moment. And by good, I mean sort of that deeper fulfillment and deeper satisfaction where you're working toward a bigger picture goal, something that's not just immediate gratification, but a bigger picture of something that is more of a long-term gratification. So that's really what I'm talking about in terms of trying to get yourself motivated again. You don't do it, whatever it is that you want to do, you don't do it just to get the results. You do it to play the game, again, like in the Olympics. And then you know that you might make that difference along the way. You might get the benefits for yourself, but at least playing a game and going for something is a lot more fulfilling and a lot more engaging and active than just sitting around and worrying about it and hoping something works out. You actually get in action and you're engaged with the world. You're putting yourself out there at risk by doing something. And by risk, I mean just something as simple as asking somebody to do something or trying to make a move toward your goal. That's putting yourself out there in a way that you hadn't already. So if you do that, you are actually being more alive, more engaged in life, and it's just a lot more fun. And if you like to have fun and be engaged with life, then one way to do it is to actually start going for whatever it is that you want to, whatever difference you want to make in life. One last thing I do want to mention before I wrap this up, and that is, some people will say, well, I don't know what it is that my mission is, or what I want to do, or what I want to change, or whatever. And I totally understand that. So then what you do is, this is where you just got to tune in to whatever it is that's really going on with you. Because we're so much taught to suppress our true feelings, our true authenticity, our true whatever it is, just all kinds of stuff we're taught to suppress. And many times even whatever we're vocal and loud about is not even the real thing that we're concerned with. Okay, so if you want to find out and identify something that could be your mission or something that you can be passionate about to get you started moving, look at it like this. What is something that bugs you? Like really just annoys you and irritates you, especially if it's about people. Okay? I mean, it actually doesn't have to be about people specifically, but ultimately you're going to be working with people in some capacity. It could be something about the way school lunches are served. And it could be the way certain communications go. So whatever those things are, just like really be honest with yourself about something that bugs you. And then you can sort of start working on a mission from there. Something that's very important about that is that whatever this thing is that bugs you, that you might have as a mission to resolve, because it could be being annoyed with someone, or it could be something that you're authentically, genuinely moved in a compassionate sense, an empathetic sense for people somewhere in the world. Whatever that thing is, it can't be, or it won't work, it's not going to be powerful if it's just that you're trying to get the opposite to happen. Okay, so I'll use politics just in a general sense. Obviously, a lot of politics is very polarizing. If you just hate the other candidate or the other side, and you try to stop them, well, really, you are engaging in their conversation as opposed to what you want to create. So instead of that, turn it around to focus on the positive. aspect of that. So for me, one of the things that I realized, and it's not politics, is that what do I want for people? Well, what I want for people is that people take responsibility for their lives, and that they, even if they're in circumstances that they feel like they're a victim of, well, how are you going to relate to it? You know, for you to get any power, then you have to shift your relationship to circumstances if you think and feel like a victim. So that is really something that is important to me. I want people to feel empowered and to, you know, I could say stop feeling like victims and stop complaining, but that would be the negative. So I want to help people feel empowered and take responsibility for their lives and for their actions instead of blaming and pointing the finger at someone other than themselves. And it's also not to blame yourself, because that's just more of the same thing. So it would be to just take on, like, yeah, I'm going to go out and create my life. And there's a whole lot I could say on that, because I can hear questions popping up in people's heads like, well, yeah, but I can't change this, and I didn't create that, and things like that. I can hear all of that, but it's too much to deal with all of that in one conversation. But just know that part of what's possible is to begin to take responsibility for your life, in the sense of moving forward from this moment on. I am going to start being in action toward creating whatever it is that I want to create. So no matter what your circumstance is, whether you feel victimized by racism, religion, your gender, whatever it is, that if you feel disempowered or just having your voice suppressed or not appreciated, maybe you're in a relationship that you don't feel appreciated in or able to really vocalize your feelings, something like that. So whatever it is, then if you say, going forward from this moment on, I'm going to start taking responsibility for changing how my life goes, then you're going to be in a more powerful position. So I wanted to share that with you, because that is something that is where my mission is. And I'll be talking a lot more about this moving forward, because it's going to show up in aspects of my new ventures, both for people who are looking to start a business, my Experts on a Mission venture, as well as I have a site called liveyourgreatlife.com. And at Live Your Great Life, it's just how to have more fun in your life. Now, I have created these two sites, but they're not developed. But I just wanted to share with you how I've come to my mission, and then how I will relate to it, even though there are moments when I feel resigned. Okay, so I hope that this has been of value to you in some fashion, and I look forward to bringing you more podcasts on leadership and how to have a great life. So go out there and live your great life, be an expert, live your mission, and just go out and have a lot of fun.